Axon Property Group here. I'm joined with a really good friend of mine. We're standing in his brand new first investment property. Welcome to the world, Axon. Greg Haggett, brother, how are you?
Thanks, Hooch. Good, mate.
Good to see you. He just called me Hooch then. Tell that story quickly.
Well, Hooch and I have known each other 30 years when we played army football. So Hooch, Turner, those of us that are old enough to know the movie Turner and Hooch, that's where it came from. So he's Hooch.
It was actually weird when I did all of my OR career, corporal, sergeant, everyone was calling me Hooch. Then when I changed across to be an officer, I went, best I ditch that bloody, that nickname. That's not very officer-ish. So I went by Robbie then, and most of the viewers out there wouldn't even know that. Mate, we linked up about 18 months ago. Yep. Obviously, you've been following my journey. You know I've been doing this for 5 odd years. And I think you and your wife, Brooke, said, hey, Robbie, we're living in our own home up in the sunny coast.
Yep.
We watched a video that said, we can escape the 30-year mortgage trap. Remember that?
Yep.
I want to learn more about that. So we had an initial consultation. You reached out to another friend of ours, Chris, who's bought and built 2 properties. What did Whitey have to say?
Whitey was, he couldn't fault what you provided for him. He's onto his 2nd property now, and he's just loved the process. He bought one in Melbourne, and he's since got one up here in Queensland as well, and he has just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, goals. So we sat down, did a bit of a strategy session, and basically worked out how we could get that done. Debbie did your finance.
Yep.
She's an absolute legend, and basically we went ahead and did that. So what you're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen, is basically the outcome of the first investment property for Greg and Brooke. About $560,000 package. At the time of us taking off the EOI, we're expecting to get $470, $480 a week rent. Now the property's worth $750, so there's a lazy 200 grand of equity growth which has occurred. And then we're just about to have the tenant move in here on Friday for $630 a week. So when we sort of throw those figures around, mate, even though you and I have been friends for 30 years, if I had said to you, come and work with us, you're going to make $200,000 of equity, especially Brooke, who I don't know well, she would have been going, this guy's full of shit, see you later. Yeah. But like, how's the journey been as the house has evolved and you've seen the property market come alive?
It's been incredible, especially in Queensland the last 12 months, the increase in our own property up on the coast.
Yes.
And you're right, when I was explaining it to Brooke that, come and meet this bloke Hooch, he's gonna change our lives, and she's like, yeah, how much is this gonna cost us? So if you're apprehensive about it, you're absolutely not alone, because my missus it took some convincing, and when we had the intro to him, it was just fantastic. But the growth that we've seen, as we said, in the last 12 months has been fantastic.
Yeah, good. And what about the amazing support that you've got from our build support team? So, you've had, the better part of probably 100 construction days in delay.
Yep.
And everyone's getting that. Me and my wife have got 180-day construction as we build our house as well. But now you're standing in your own home, and now it's all over. How do you sort of reflect on those times when you're like, oh, been a little bit longer, Greg, a little bit longer, Greg, a little bit longer, Greg?
Look, it was nothing really. It was a bit longer. We were hoping to get in here in, I think it was April.
Right.
But being in the construction industry myself, I know exactly what it's like. Your delays, materials, everyone was doing it tough, and the builders with COVID and everything. So the build support staff have been absolutely gold standard, fantastic. They kept us up to date every week. Progress photos, and just fantastic. It's been really, really good.
I've got to say, there's been quite a few people that have come into the Axon world that have got a little bit of construction experience, and most of the time, they actually turn out to be a pain in the ass to deal with, because a little bit of knowledge is dangerous sometimes. And I just want to let everyone know, mate, to your absolute credit and a show of what your character's all about, because you've got that little bit of experience, you understood. You were aware. You weren't busting people's balls about trying to get the house done too quickly. You're an absolute dream to work with. And Franny, who's here at the moment with us as well, and all of the girls in the build support team love the fact that you were just so easygoing, and you weren't blowing up, and you weren't whinging, and you weren't frustrated. You actually got it. So, mate, that's a real credit to you.
No, and Deb factored in the finance, a little bit more just for Justin, and we needed Justin because we were a couple of months behind.
Just in case, yep.
So it was fantastic, and as I said, we were kept up to date, and shit happens in the world at the moment, so we know what we're expecting.
Now that you're on the back end and now you've seen the property, you're in it yourself, you understand the numbers. If someone's out there watching this right now and they're like, oh, I'm still following Axon, I'm not quite sure whether I should do it or not. If they were standing here right now, what would you say to them?
Do it.
JFDI, just fucking do it. And based on what? Why? Why should they do it?
It was seamless. It was so easy. It's so easy. It's ridiculous. You've just got to commit to yourselves and know that the dream is going to come true. Yeah. And in 10 years' time, this place will be one of many of our investments because I've already said to Hooch today, when are we doing our next one?
Yeah,
so
good.
get on board and get into it, guys. Really.
And this is a gentleman, I know he doesn't look it, he's in his early 50s, so it's never too late to get started. And I guess a final point there, mate, is that you made the ultimate compliment to Joel and the team who built this house. You walked around it, and I know you're not emotionally invested in this house.
Yeah.
You love the quality, you love the feel. Obviously, it's the item that you bought, and you gave the ultimate compliment to a builder who built an investment property. I would want to live here myself.
100%.
That's what you said, right?
Absolutely. I'd move in here tomorrow if I could, if I could afford it.
You don't need to pay $630 a week rent. You guys have got an amazing house up on the sunny coast. Mate, from me to you, thank you so much for using our services. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like all of our friends, I take a lot of effort in trying to get to know, because mates don't let mates down. Mates have got each other's backs, and mates always do the right thing by them. But when you have a mate from a previous life come into my work life, I absolutely want to make sure it's worked out well, and I'm so proud and happy for Brooke and yourself. So good on you, mate.
Thanks, mate. And that's the trust we build as ex-defence members.
Yeah.
You know you're not going to get let down, and that's the reassurance that you need.
Fantastic. Have a great day, everyone.
See ya.